planning a destination wedding, let's talk budget. What it really costs, how to save smart, and any hidden fees to watch out for.
We're breaking it all down so you can plan the wedding of your dreams without the stress or surprise expenses.
You are listening to the Vowcast by Paradise Weddings. Let's dive in. First, I think we should talk about knowing your budget.
Yeah,
right?
let's do it.
And when we talk budget, there's two main things that we like to separate in our couple's vision so that you get prepared for them. First is, how much are you comfortable asking your guests to spend for their stay to come to your wedding? Remember, this is an all-inclusive wedding, which means all-inclusive resorts, fee per person that stays at a resort, and that will be a very important thing to keep in mind from early stages. We make a mistake sometimes of thinking of only the wedding day and forgetting about that bit, and it's a super important factor.
Thinking about taking into consideration the most resorts require 3 or 4 nights stay. So super important when you're thinking about the budget to try to think about per person per night. That's usually how the pricing is given.
And the flights.
Yeah, the flights is a super important.
So at that time, when you're thinking, okay, I think I'm going to go destination, go on the internet and look up, flights for the more or less dates you're looking at to have an idea of how much your guests would spend on flights. And then consider, I don't know, I want my guests to go no over, I don't know, 1,800 per person. Then, you remove the flights from that and that cost divided between the nights that you need. Typically, couples or wedding groups come for 3 to 4 nights. More of the immediates will do a longer stay, but considering like the bulk of your group, think that way. And then that's going to be your budget, and think per person per night. I know it's weird with hotels, but with all-inclusive resorts, that's how they price it out, and that'll help you think, okay, this is how much per person I'm okay with them spending. So that's budget number 1, super important. What about budget number 2?
Budget number 2, the wedding, of course.
And the wedding will be, you need to think of, the resort will bring you a package. And these packages have a cost. I'd say, and keep me honest with, I think everything starts at around 210, 220 per person for the day. And what does that mean? This means that for $210, $220, you get a package at the resort that includes your ceremony setup, the essential ceremony setup, which is, the chairs for the number of people, the nice altar or table for the minister and for the couple, maybe some flowers, not that much.
Usually
not,
some ceremonial table flowers,
those,
something
not
like that.
the arch behind you, like that usually is extra, but the essential setup. Then it transitions into a cocktail hour, the toast right after the event. Usually with hors d'oeuvres.
Sometimes open bar.
Sometimes even some packages include some music at that time. Not just the speaker, but a trio or something.
And high top tables.
Yes, like the setup for cocktail. Yes. And then the reception dinner. And the reception dinner that's usually included in these $220 is your 3-hour or 4-hour dinner. It can be a la carte or it can be buffet. Yes. And essential setup. Yep. Tables, cutlery.
Yep. Glassware.
Yep. Everything. It doesn't include
DJ, dance floor, lighting, photography, videography. Well, that's for the entire day.
And extra decor, right? Yep. So the 220 will take you to the essential 3 events with their basic setups. And then from there, you need to build up to your
tastes and your feel. Yeah, exactly. You got it.
So a good way to go about it is browse. We have a lot of resorts on our website, paradiseweddings.com /resorts, and you'll be able to figure out more or less what they offer, and we have some like general pricing around them, so that can give you an idea. Obviously, speaking to someone that knows about this and having a consultation call will get you there faster. Right. But that's what I would recommend for getting started with the idea of budget. A lot of our couples also go into Pinterest. They make their mood boards.
Great idea.
And start figuring out like what's the visual that they want for the event. And then from there to see if it's going to be this much, that much, or that much more, adding it onto that essential package.
Let's talk about some budgeting hacks.
Oh, yeah. All in all, having a destination wedding is already a budget hack because It gets you to trim your list of guests. It gets you a much less expensive wedding that what you would have with the same in the US. And, and it also gives you a vacation in exchange. So it's a really good hack just to say destination wedding, but there's still a few more things that we can consider.
Yeah, for sure. Seasonality. I feel like if you're flexible on the date, that's great because you will find that actually pricing, especially for the rooms, is more so for the rooms than anything, um, changes a lot with different seasons.
It's like this. So
Uh-huh.
if you're looking into your guests not spending that much more, then talk to a pro and look at the seasons that are okay. Also compare them with the flights. You know, those usually go hand in hand, flights and stays, with the high season, spring break, summer, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So stay away like from very high priced dates.
Yes.
Highest in the year, I would say Thanksgiving, around Christmas, New Year's. Those are like
And sometimes actually the higher dates, especially like Christmas, New Year, they are considered blackout dates, which actually means that you get less benefits and kickbacks and stuff for choosing those dates. So yeah.
yes, and also there's some resorts that will actually do a cheaper wedding at certain months of the year. You know, they'll do like a little bit of a discounted package on the same package,
Or
but
even
in
day of the week.
or even day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So
if you're flexible on doing
if you're
Wednesday
okay with
wedding.
a Wednesday wedding, Thursday, you'll probably get some money back on that.
Yes, exactly.
I think a lot something that's used a lot, and even the resorts will encourage it, is to use the flowers that you use for your ceremony over at the reception. So
Love this
you have
idea.
I know, it's great. It's great for the environment, it's great for everyone, for the pocket. So you have your flowers. I've even seen lately in one of our couples video, they had like on the aisles like really centerpiece looking but very beautiful like flower arrangements which were taken straight to the reception, and then you just, pay one. You don't have to
Wow, I love that.
spend double on flowers and reuse. It's very common if you invest in like an arch that they'll put it on the sweetheart table at the
Yes. I was gonna say
reception.
I've
Yep.
seen that happen. Yeah, for
So
sure.
repurposing flowers is a big one.
Even candles. Sometimes people have candles all down the aisle. They take the candles, they put them with the centerpieces in the table,
Yeah.
like,
And you
awesome.
need to think that there will be a transition cocktail hour. So it's not like people are gonna
Everyone
barge
grab a
into the
candle.
ceremony. Everyone get a candle in your chair and go to the reception.
You could do that if you wanted.
Yeah, I guess you can. But you don't need to. That's what, the package costs are for. The resort will allocate staff, they'll allocate,
Exactly.
waiters, everyone to pick up the stuff, to move stuff around. Sometimes your venue at the ceremony won't be the same one from the reception show. So there will be like
So
some
during your cocktail hour, those things could be
things get
being
moved
moved
and
while you're enjoying
no
the
one has to
cocktail.
notice.
Exactly. Love it, love it. Thinking about the rooms and, of course, blocking rooms for the guests, guaranteeing availability, etc. We will talk about that on another episode. But just another hack is that for doing that, you will get cashback, incentives, benefits, perks to the wedding couple
Versus
for
letting
blocking rooms.
anyone book everywhere and then
Exactly.
you don't get, the value back from the resort. That's called a room block. We'll talk more about it in the future. And then something else that I see a lot with is the chairs. Like,
Oh, chairs is important.
yeah,
Well, it
they're
was for me.
huge. Well, I know they were for you. So there's a lot of for those of you that don't know, there's a catalog of types of chairs. And like you'll get the included ones, which are like nice. It's not terrible. Um, some packages will include like already the Tiffany.
Yep.
Avant-garde is
Avant-garde is usually the lead one.
the lead one, which are looking pretty. So like if you think of something that you see on Instagram and you want that chair, you might think, okay, I might just save up 200 bucks on chairs and throw them somewhere else where it's not going to make a huge difference.
Yes.
So
Especially when it's for ceremony and you're using just those chairs for ceremony. It's 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and that's it. So, you can also another, hack could be to have a fancier chair if you like, something that you're considering and use them for the back row and for some of the aisle, and then the middle chairs can be the ones that are included in the
it's
package.
trendy, actually. I've
Yeah.
seen that. It's
So that's kind of cool. Another one that I really wanted to talk about was consider your venue. So, I mean, especially for destination wedding, the venues are amazing. They already have scenery there, gorgeous greenery, flowers, the beach,
Caribbean backdrop.
for free. Okay, so it's there. So utilize that. You spend less on extra decor as opposed to choosing kind of a closed indoor room,
That you need to dress up
that you need to dress
entirely.
up.
And also mind that there are venues that have an extra cost and some that are not. Like every resort will have a venue that's included. Most of the times it's like the beach or like
Right.
a deck. But they'll have maybe a sky terrace that has another $1,000 or $2,000 fee, which is great because of privacy and the wow factor. But if you want to hack, you're already what just said, like you're at the Caribbean. Everything's lovely around. Everyone's happy around. So like you don't really need to invest too much there with extra decor.
Or even not on the Caribbean side, like the other side,
Ooh,
the
the Pacific,
mountains,
the
the like, oh my
sunsets.
goodness, the
Yeah,
sunsets, like amazing views and scenery for
let's
no
use this
extra
beautiful
cost.
world as decor.
Exactly. Love it.
Some of the things that I think are important to mention at this point is what costs should you be aware of? Like, we discussed the guest stay, we've discussed more or less a package. There Everything that's not included in the package, which is DJ, flowers, dance floor, photography,
Extra
videography, that's
lighting.
going to be extra on top of those $250 per person. So obviously budget on that and see how important the video is to you versus a photo. And everyone has different needs. But what other things out there that can
Well,
be important?
just one thing I would say on that as well, and of course, we're going to touch on this on another episode in more detail about wedding package and in resort weddings. But you will get a planner that's on site that will help you with planning the day of. And they are very good. Going back to what Ellie said at the beginning, if you have a Pinterest board, a mood board, they're very
They'll
good at,
do it.
you can throw it at them and say, look, this is the budget I have. This is the look I want to create. Can I make it happen? And they're very good at saying, yes, no, maybe, here's how we can do it. Hacks to, cut corners to make it
Yeah.
happen.
And they'll want to stretch as much as they can, whatever. Like you might have 3 4 included centerpieces in your package. If you bring your mood board, they'll be able to tell you, okay, these flowers are included. Maybe you just add on
Add a few
a
extra
couple
things.
more, and that will make it like exactly your view. So that's important. And also knowing to trust the resort, to trust the planner at the resort, trust their vendors.
That's a big one. Trust that
If you're
vendor.
already looking into this, you know what an external vendor is. Basically, resorts have their own in-house vendors for photography, videography, makeup, hair, everything. So the purpose of that is that you can use the services within the resort. Some of them included in your package, some you will have extra cost. If you decide to bring someone from outside that's not on that list, they will charge an external vendor fee. And that external vendor fee is, and I've seen it happen. Like you get to the resort and you have your own photographer. They'll literally put the money into an envelope and give it to their concession at the resort. Like it's the agreement they have with their in-house that they have to pay like a fee if they don't use their services. So also it's not just one. Usually resorts have a couple. Like they have one which is like the go-to, but they'll have 2 or 3 that they allow because they trust their services, because they know that they know the resort. Super important. You might love, your cousin that's a great photographer and they're already coming. Fantastic. You don't have to pay a
Right.
vendor fee because they're guests of your wedding, but they have no idea like of the
The
corners of the
layout of the
resort,
resort,
where the
the
best
golden
angle is.
hour.
Exactly. So how to fly the drone, etc. So this is something to consider that they do work great with who they have.
Exactly.
If you do have someone from outside, then the vendor fees start at what, 1,000
1,000 start
for
at.
service every time they come. So this is something you need to add on to your budget. If you're in love with this photographer and that's the one you want, consider that you're going to pay their services plus the external vendor fee and probably plus a day pass or they call it
Wedding
vendor
pass
pass.
or vendor pass.
So
Yeah,
they get
that's
food as
right.
well because they need to eat through the day and all of that good stuff. So when you book rooms, think of everyone that will be there or has to be there. We had a case where like 2 days before the wedding, they forgot about the priest's room. And obviously, we don't have at that time all the rates are gone. The room
Yeah.
blocks is wrapped
Full.
up and ready. Everyone's ready to
Availability
go.
is limited.
Availability is super limited. So we had to go like everywhere to try to find a room for the priest. And it was super expensive compared to what we had, secured back 10 months ago. So
And it was just looked over, right? Like, because you just Oh, the priest is coming, but yeah.
So not just about the priest, but anyone close in your family that you know, make sure you book that in advance. And I would say that this advice goes to let's book with ample time.
Right.
Again, you will hear that in every episode. Please do it at least 10 months out, 8, 10 months out, because the deadlines of your room block will come in, because your head count will change drastically if you do it last minute,
Right.
and you'll have a lot of like unforeseen stuff versus you know who's
At a
coming, you
pace.
know who's RSV.
Exactly. Actually, I have a funny story because I once had a groom's mum because we regularly send room list updates of the rooming list, and I had a groom's mum who wasn't on the list. Like 3 updates he got, and he was like, "If my mum is not on that list next time," and she was just like, "Oh, but I'm coming. I'm your mum," and he was
Of
like,
course
"But
I'll be
you need
there.
to book." Like so, yeah, it's
It's
very
hilarious.
easily done. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's thinking of so many other things. So that would help you avoid, issues with last minute bookings that are way more expensive, or just falling into some deadlines or things that you weren't, thinking of. Sometimes you want to do a quick express, let's do it in 4 months, and then you send out invites, you expect 20 people, and what if 60 decide to come?
Yeah.
You
Could work
didn't
the other way.
prepare for that. Remember, it's 200 and something per person for the event plus any extra. So the bill can get high. And one last one. I'm sorry,
No, no,
we
please,
have so
please.
many examples. One last one that I've seen recently. Please visualize your event. Like give it a good thought. When you're thinking of your ceremony, cocktail, and reception. The resorts usually include 3 to 4 hours. But if you know your party is like you know, good good party people that are gonna go into the middle of the night,
Mhm.
and you need an hour or 2 extra, because some resorts will allow it, not every venue, be aware of that,
Yeah.
but if you want like "I wanna be out at 2 a.m." Okay, that's gonna cost you,
Yeah.
and you need to budget on that and see if it's going to be 1, 2 hours
Yep.
and budget for that early on. So one more thing I was thinking about is consider your list and work it
Mhm.
properly, because size matters with
It
weddings.
does. It does.
It's important that you have the number of people. We've had a lot of cases where the list just grows. They get
Gross.
excited, they invite, everyone in their Instagram, and then all of a sudden we have a huge wedding, which really messes up with the original plans and
Plans.
vision of budgeting. So keep that in mind.
And also, if people add later, the rates can be different.
Yep.
It can be higher, as we already mentioned. So yeah, it's definitely
And the biggest budget mistake to avoid is to try to do this on your own.
yes, agreed.
It is very important that you get help from professionals, people that do this on a daily basis. It's your big day, but please get help. Destination Wedding Company, Paradise Weddings. It's just makes your life much easier. Everything
Right.
goes much smoother, and you will be able to probably get to the same result, but you would have probably
Been
had
so overwhelmed.
too many nights without sleep,
Yes,
and
exactly.
just feeling like, "Oh my gosh, this is not worth." We've heard
Yes.
that so many times over the phone where people are just like,
Mhm.
"I'm too overwhelmed." So, get help, early on, and you will enjoy the process.
Yeah.
I think this is a wrap. Thank you
Yes.
everyone for tuning in today. I hope this gave you a solid starting point on how to budget, your wedding, and a few good ideas.
Mhm. And if you've got any questions or topics that you want us to dive into next, you can drop them in the comments, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Hit that subscribe button and share this with anyone that's planning a destination wedding. Your support means the world to us.
It really does. And until next time, guys, happy planning.
Happy planning! Thank you.